Stevie Dennis is harvesting and extracting a cluster of gooseneck barnacles, one of the most expensive and valuable seafoods in the entire world. Just 1 pound of this rare product can cost over $100 in Spain and Portugal, countries where the barnacles are considered a true gastronomic delicacy and culinary treasure. That represents approximately 7 times the price of some of the best Maine lobster. But getting your hands on these rare barnacles is much more difficult and challenging than it appears at first glance. The work comes with serious and significant risks, and even the real and concrete possibility of death. So why exactly are gooseneck barnacles so difficult and dangerous to harvest? And is that precisely what makes them so extremely expensive and valued in the international market? Gooseneck barnacles, also widely known in Europe as Percebes, have a long and fleshy stalk called a peduncle, which contains the highly sought-after, flavorful and nutritious meat that you can eat. People often say the delicate flavor resembles lobster, crab or clam, with unique characteristics and nuances of the sea. They grow naturally in coastal intertidal zones, including on the rugged coast of Spain, where an alarming and worrying average of 5 people die trying to harvest them every year. They also grow abundantly here, along the rugged and wild coast of Vancouver Island, Canada. The inherent danger of harvesting this exotic and rare seafood begins even before Stevie and his dedicated work partner, Jordan, reach the small rocky and isolated island where the barnacles grow abundantly.
All right.
The 15-minute boat trip from the coast starts out smooth, calm, and tranquil. But wait a little longer, and the waves will be rising high and violently as Stevie tries to make the risky, precise, and calculated jump from the rocking boat to the slippery, wet, and dangerous rocks. Stevie can only harvest during low tide, when he can finally access the rocks with relative safety and work efficiently. He can only harvest while the tide permits, which represents just a few short hours per day. Outside this extremely limited and restricted time window, the barnacles are completely covered by cold water and are too dangerous to be harvested safely. It's not like you have a full 8-hour work window to go harvest as many gooseneck barnacles as you can. You have this very short, restricted, and challenging time window, and you're going to try to capitalize and make the most of this unique opportunity. It is absolutely essential and fundamental for Stevie to do the work quickly, but with extreme care and technical precision. He harvests attentively while constantly checking the tide level and its continuous progression. A single slip or false move, and the powerful and relentless waves could drag him down into the icy waters. In the end, it all comes down to skilled, specialized, and highly technical work. It's not a job that just anyone can do without proper training and prior experience. Especially when you're working with a small and limited team of people, you want to have total, complete, and absolute confidence that both individuals can pilot a vessel skillfully, both individuals can harvest efficiently and safely. You need to take care of each other out there on the dangerous rocks. To further increase the already high risks involved, the most prized, premium, and flavorful barnacles thrive exactly in the most dangerous, exposed, and remote points of the island. These specific barnacles are denser, more compact, and packed with succulent, superior quality meat. And they grow firmly on the extreme edge of the rocks, where the waves are constantly beating and lashing violently and incessantly against them. The barnacles here need to feed more frequently and regularly, so they can grow larger and stronger to withstand the relentless and brutal surf, and that's how they manage to cling more firmly and tenaciously to rocky surfaces. But this also makes them especially difficult to remove without causing structural damage to the product. Stevie uses a special blade spring tool to carefully and methodically pry off clusters of gooseneck barnacles. My uncle gave me this valuable tool. He used to harvest gooseneck barnacles in the past, many years ago. Sometimes he uses his own strong hands to pull them out one by one, with infinite patience and developed skill. While constantly worrying about his own personal safety and well-being, Stevie must also be very meticulous and careful about how he harvests the delicate barnacles. Experienced harvesters try to avoid grabbing or harming other diverse marine organisms that are attached and fixed to the barnacles. And they take extra, special, and doubled care not to damage the gooseneck barnacle itself, since accidentally cutting or slicing it will automatically diminish its significant commercial value in the market. Marketable and premium quality barnacles will have a hard white plate at the end that measures about 15 to 30 millimeters in length. The peduncle should be between 20 and 80 millimeters in ideal and perfect size. At each harvesting location in Vancouver and the region, less than 10% of the total barnacles found will be considered marketable and of acceptable quality for sale to consumers. You want some with good and adequate length, you know? It's like imagining a dense and ancient forest. The further you go inside and find where the trees are a little more protected from natural elements, the top of the tree is where you'll find the most developed branches, and they'll have long and developed trunks, so that's the flavorful meat you eat and appreciate. As abundant, full, and promising as this rocky island may appear to be, there is a strict and regulated limit to how many barnacles Stevie can remove and take with him. Once fishermen harvest. 7. 5% of the marketable gooseneck barnacles from a specific designated rock. That rock will be closed and protected for a full 6 months to prevent excessive, unsustainable, and harmful harvesting to the ecosystem. After Stevie and Jordan return to shore with their valuable daily harvest, they transport the barnacles carefully and quickly to renowned local restaurants in the region. In Vancouver, they are delivered fresh, alive, and in optimal condition, since the barnacles degrade and deteriorate rapidly after the initial harvest. And if frozen improperly, they will lose much of their delicate texture and distinctive characteristic flavor when thawed later, making them significantly less valuable and desirable for gastronomic consumption. Let's say for salmon, you can serve fresh salmon, and then you can freeze it without major problems. And then you can smoke it for prolonged preservation. You can prolong and considerably extend the longevity of that product for months on end. Gooseneck barnacles are not like that, unfortunately. They're beautiful, big and fat today. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for and seeking to find. The barnacles are carefully classified and evaluated on a scale of A, B, and C, based on how much meat they contain and what the overall quality is. Jordan, your grade A barnacles are going to be aesthetically quite pleasing to the eye. Very full, voluminous, and attractive, and also with excellent firmness and superior consistency of the meat. Regardless of the assigned classifications and grades, 112 to 2 pounds of fresh gooseneck barnacles will typically yield just over 1-2 pound of usable and edible meat for final consumption. I want to prepare them in the cleanest, purest, and simplest way possible, which means you can taste and appreciate all the unique and authentic flavor that's inside them. And for me personally, it tastes purely and intensely of the ocean in its natural essence. This looks like a dinosaur's head, doesn't it? With the eye and I always affectionately call them dinosaur fingers. In Vancouver and the surrounding region, gooseneck barnacles have long been a traditional, ancestral, and culturally important food source for members of the Nuu-chah-nulth First Nations. These days, Stevie hopes and plans to sell gooseneck barnacles for $20 a pound in the competitive local market. That's about $6 more than the cost per pound of common and traditional hard-shell lobster. But in distant places like Spain and Portugal, Percebes are considered a true special and prestigious gastronomic delicacy, and that's why they can cost much more, sometimes easily exceeding $100 per pound in specialized and exclusive markets. Prices become especially high and inflated during the hot summer and around important festive holidays, when people from these Mediterranean regions eat Percebes more frequently and in greater quantities during celebrations. As gooseneck barnacles appear in more and more sophisticated high-end restaurants in Canada and the United States, the growing demand for this exotic product could grow considerably and expand in that region of the Western world. But for now, the intrinsic value and prestige of this marine crustacean is clear and evident enough for local residents and connoisseurs in Vancouver. People will ask curiously, what does it taste exactly like? Is it like crab, like shrimp, like lobster? I think so. Maybe you could say that, but I eagerly await and hope for the day when we'll say with pride, "Ooh, crab and lobster taste a little bit like a delicious gooseneck barnacle."